Hello, fellow gamers! 2026 is shaping up to be an absolutely stacked year for pixel art indie games, and I have been deep in the trenches hunting down the best of the best so you don't have to. So let's not waste another second. Kicking things off at number 25, we've got Dead Weight, and this one sets the tone perfectly for what this list is all about. Dead Weight drops you into a grim, decaying world where survival isn't just a mechanic, it's a mood. You're hauling yourself through hostile environments, managing resources, and fighting off threats that really don't want you to make it to the next sunrise. The pixel art here has that wonderful, grotesque quality. Dark palettes, chunky animations, environments that feel genuinely threatening. If you've ever loved a good survival horror with pixel art grit, Dead Weight is absolutely one to wishlist right now. Number 24 is Hellbug, and the name alone should tell you this is going to be a wild ride. Hellbug is a chaotic, fast-paced action game that throws you into bug-infested hellscapes with guns blazing and absolutely zero chill. The combat is snappy and satisfying, the kind of game where your hands are doing things your brain hasn't quite processed yet, and somehow it all works. Boss fights look absolutely unhinged in the best possible way. Keep your eyes on this one. At number 23, Into the Slimy Mines, a game that is exactly as delightfully gross as it sounds. This one leans hard into the dungeon crawling genre with a slimy, subterranean twist. You're digging, exploring, and battling your way through procedurally generated mines filled with oozing creatures and treasure just begging to be claimed. What makes Into the Slimy Mines stand out is its atmosphere. The mines feel genuinely alive, gurgling, dripping, shifting, perfect for players who love the satisfying loop of exploration, discovery, and the occasional terrifying surprise around a dark corner. Absolutely recommended. Number 22 is something genuinely different, Scratch Off. This game takes the humble scratch card and turns it into a full indie gaming experience. Scratch Off wraps lottery mechanics around a surprisingly deep gameplay loop. There's strategy, there's luck, there's the dopamine hit of revealing what's underneath, and it's all done with super charming pixel art that gives it a quirky, almost retro game show energy. The best indie games take a familiar concept and flip it into something you never expected. At number 21, Soulforge Lost Path, and this one carries some serious emotional weight. Soulforge Lost Path looks like a dark fantasy action RPG with a deep focus on lore, identity, and the consequences of power. You're crafting and forging your path through a world that's been shattered by forces greater than yourself, and the pixel art tells that story beautifully. Brooding color palettes, intricate character designs, environments that feel ancient and broken. The souls you forge, the alliances you make, the power you pursue, all of it shapes where you end up, and not all endings are created equal. This is an interesting one to put on your radar. Number 20 is Exark. It's a sci-fi experience that blends action with exploration in a way that feels sleek and purposeful. The aesthetic is sharp, clean lines, neon accents, the kind of pixel art that looks like it was beamed in from a future arcade. You're navigating hostile, mechanized environments, and the combat has a real precision to it. Movement looks fluid, responsive, the kind of game where you can tell within seconds whether the controls are going to cooperate with you. And Exark looks like it absolutely passes that test. The visual design has a confidence to it that catches the eye immediately. Put this on your wish list and keep watching for more details. At number 19, Oath of the Necromancer, which is a phenomenal name for a game. This is dark fantasy at its most compelling. You play as a necromancer, obviously, and the oath you've sworn shapes your entire journey. Raising the dead, commanding undead armies, navigating a world that either fears you or wants to use you. The power fantasy here is real, but it comes at a price, and that's what makes it interesting. Skulls, shadows, spectral effects. The whole visual language of this game screams, I am the villain of someone else's story, and I'm fine with that. The spell animations look particularly impressive for a pixel art title. This one is very atmospheric. Number 18, Dracs After Dusk. This game brings a gothic, vampire-flavored energy wrapped in gorgeous, moody pixel art. The After Dusk setting isn't just aesthetic, it's mechanical. The night is your domain, and how you navigate it, hunt in it, and survive its own predators defines your run. Whether you're managing your hunger, exploring cursed estates, or doing battle with other creatures of the night, Dracs After Dusk looks like it commits fully to its theme. When a developer goes all in on a vision, you feel it, and this game feels it. At 17, Ogre Chambers 2222. And yes, the number in the title is doing a lot of work here. Set in a far future world that somehow still has ogres, Ogre Chambers mashes together dungeon crawling tradition with science fiction weirdness, and the result looks wonderfully unhinged. The pixel art leans into the contrast. Ancient stone chambers alongside high-tech machinery, medieval monsters wielding futuristic weapons. The gameplay loop looks punishing in that satisfying roguelike way. Procedurally generated chambers, escalating difficulty, character builds that reward experimentation. Weird, wild, and wonderfully fun. Number 16, Ascend to Zero. And this title has me asking questions from the moment I read it. Ascend to Zero is a philosophical action platformer that seems deeply interested in what it means to strive towards something, or away from something. The visual style is clean and striking, a restrained color palette that makes every moment of action pop against the calm backdrops. There's clearly an artistic vision at work here, not just gameplay design. The challenge looks real. This isn't a casual stroll. But for players who want their games to mean something beyond the mechanics, Ascend to Zero looks like it's reaching for something genuinely ambitious. Halfway through the list, at number 15, Soulbound Online. Soulbound takes the pixel art MMORPG concept and runs with it. A living, breathing online world rendered in gorgeous retro-style art that wears its influences proudly. Classic MMO structure, character classes, guilds, quests, dungeons, but filtered through a distinctly indie lens that prioritizes feel and community over bloat. If they nail the progression loop and build a community worth joining, Soulbound Online could be genuinely special. This is the one on the list that could surprise everyone the most. At number 14, Scavland. And this world is built from the scraps of everything that came before. Scavland is a post-apocalyptic survival and exploration game where the art of scavenging is your primary tool for staying alive. The world has ended, or something close to it, and you're picking through the wreckage for anything useful. The crafting and building systems look deep and rewarding. Taking the debris of the old world and building something new from it is exactly the kind of creative survival loop that hooks players for dozens of hours. Scavland is one of those games that rewards patience and creativity, and for the right player, it could be absolutely captivating. Number 13, Bounty Brawl Most Wanted. It's a rowdy, punchy, chaotic brawler that throws bounty hunters into wild arenas. The Most Wanted twist looks fantastic. Different bounty targets, different reward structures, players competing or cooperating to claim the biggest prizes. It adds a layer of strategy to what could easily have been a simple beat-em-up. And that's exactly what separates a good brawler from a great one. If you want something that just plays great and makes you grin from the very first second, Bounty Brawl Most Wanted is your game. At number 12, Warhammer Survivors. Take the runaway success of the Survivors-like genre, you know the one, and pour the entire Warhammer universe into it. Hordes of enemies swarming you from all directions, auto-attacking weapons painting the screen with destruction, builds that evolve from modest to absolutely apocalyptic. The sheer volume and variety of Warhammer enemies means the hordes never get monotonous. The lore gives every character and weapon real weight, and the build crafting potential, with all of Warhammer's weapon and skill on the table, looks genuinely deep. Warhammer Survivors has the potential to be one of the biggest hits on this list. Number 11, Mistaken, a title that is doing a lot of mysterious heavy lifting. Mistaken is a narrative-driven mystery game wrapped in moody, atmospheric pixel art. You've been accused of something, and the entire game is the process of unraveling what actually happened, What I love most about Mistaken is that it looks like it genuinely trusts its audience. No hand-holding, no obvious signposting, just a mystery laid out in front of you and the invitation to figure it out. Games like this are rare, where story and style feel completely unified. Number 10, Kinny and the Cosmic Cauldron, and this one is pure joy. It is wholesome, magical, adventure-filled palate cleanser that every list like this needs. You're following Kinny, an absolutely adorable protagonist, through a cosmic journey centered around a mysterious and powerful cauldron. Magical crafting, whimsical worlds, wonderful creature designs, and the kind of heartfelt storytelling that reminds you why you fell in love with games in the first place. Don't let the cute exterior fool you. There looks to be genuine depth here in both the crafting systems and the narrative. But even at face value, Kinny and the Cosmic Cauldron is an absolute delight. Number 9, The Road of Dust and Sorrow. This is a journey-focused RPG that seems more interested in the spaces between the battles than the battles themselves. The road stretches forward through desolate, beautiful landscapes, dust-blown fields, crumbling roads, skies that feel impossibly heavy, and the pixel art captures every mile of that journey with striking detail. This looks like a game about loss, persistence, and what you carry with you when there's nothing left to carry. Combat appears to exist within the journey rather than defining it, which is a lovely design philosophy. You're a traveler first, a fighter second. The Road of Dust and Sorrow looks like the kind of game you finish and sit quietly with for a few minutes before doing anything else. At number 8, Minegeon Renegades. The game smashes together mining, dungeon crawling, and a renegade attitude into one absolutely packed pixel art experience. You're digging, fighting, looting, and upgrading your way through procedurally generated depths, and the renegade flavor adds a roguelike edge that keeps every run unpredictable and exciting. What I really appreciate is the variety of approaches on offer. Do you dig efficiently and avoid conflict? Do you blast everything in your path? Do you play stealthily? Minegeon Renegades looks like it accommodates multiple playstyles within a framework that's always moving, always escalating. This one has serious longevity potential. You might still be playing it a year from now. Number 7, You Know the Drill, a game with a title that is both a pun and a promise. There's a reason the mining/drilling genre has had such a massive indie revival. The loop of going deeper, finding better resources, upgrading your drill, going even deeper is one of gaming's most perfectly satisfying feedback cycles. And this game looks like it has found a fresh and charismatic take on that formula. The pixel art is charming and characterful. The drill is practically a protagonist in its own right, and the underground environments get increasingly wild and wonderful the deeper you go. There are clearly surprises waiting the further you dig, and that sense of discovery is electric. At number 6, Drakantos, and we have arrived at something truly epic. Drakantos is a high fantasy action RPG that wears its ambitions on its pixel art sleeve. Dragons, ancient magic, vast world building. The combat looks fluid and aggressive. You're in the thick of it, dodging, striking, managing cooldowns in the heat of battle. But the world around the combat looks rich enough to reward exploration and investment in the lore. It has the vision, it has the art, and it has the ambition. Drakantos is absolutely special. Top 5 is Moldwasher. The game drops you into a grimy, mold-infested world where cleaning and survival are one and the same. But here's what makes Moldwasher remarkable. Beneath the gross-out premise is a genuinely layered game. The washer mechanics are satisfying in the way only good game design can achieve. The tactile feedback of cleaning something thoroughly, the escalating danger as the mold fights back, the mystery of what's lurking deeper in the infestation. Original, weird, atmospheric, and surprisingly deep, Moldwasher is the breakout surprise of this list. Number 4, Tideborne Haven. This is a coastal settlement builder and survival game set along a windswept tidal shoreline, and the pixel art is genuinely some of the most gorgeous on this entire list. The way the light catches the water, the soft animation of waves, the warmth of a lantern in a fog, this game is stunning to look at. But beyond the visuals, the gameplay loop looks deeply satisfying. You're building, managing, fishing, trading, weathering storms. The ebb and flow of tidal life mapped directly onto the mechanics. Resources shift with the tides. Opportunities open and close with the seasons. This is the kind of game you return to after a long day. But storms can rise quickly, and the survival elements look like they have genuine teeth. Number 3, Batomon Showdown, and this might be the most exciting game on the entire list for a very specific reason. It is a creature collection battler, but delivered with indie heart, pixel art soul, and a competitive showdown format that looks absolutely electric. You're collecting, training, and battling with your team of Batomon in a game that clearly understands why that genre feels so magical and is swinging hard to recreate it. The creature designs are wonderful, expressive, inventive, with a real variety of types and personalities that make you want to catch them all. The battle system looks snappy and strategic, and the showdown format suggests competitive modes that could have serious longevity. Number 2, Alruna End of History. It's an epic narrative RPG set in a world approaching its final chapter. The weight of that premise permeates everything. The world feels ancient and exhausted, and the story asks questions about fate, memory, and what it means to matter when history is ending. The RPG systems appear robust without being overwhelming, and the writing, from everything visible, is aiming very high. Alruna End of History looks like it intends to be unforgettable. And the number 1 spot, Graveyard Keeper 2. The original Graveyard Keeper was already a masterpiece of dark, irreverent, deeply addictive management gameplay, and now it's back. You're running a medieval graveyard again, navigating the morally dubious business of body management, crafting, farming, and somehow holding a community together while dealing with the most cheerfully grim subject matter in gaming. And from everything we've seen, the sequel takes everything that made the first game special and expands it in every possible direction. The systems appear deeper, the world larger, the dark comedy sharper. But beyond the mechanics, Graveyard Keeper has always been about something more. The absurdity of obligation, the comedy of trying to do a good job in a fundamentally broken system, and the strange satisfaction of bringing order to chaos, even when that chaos involves freshly deceased peasants. And there you have it, fellow gamers. Drop in the comments below which game are you most excited about. If you enjoyed this video, a like goes a long way in helping other indie game fans find it. And if you're not already subscribed, now is a great time to hit that button. Until next time, stay curious and keep supporting indie devs.